Yeah, it's cool. Just give me a thumbs up when we're good to go. It's normally like once the handshakes start, that's normally when it kicks in, I've noticed. Welcome to Belmore Sports Ground for round 13 of the NPL, and it's a bit of grey and a muggy old day here in Sydney southwest with the home side Sydney Olympic desperate to get their 2019 defence of their title up and running with a big match against the visiting Mount Druitt Town Rangers of Western Sydney. Both sides know that 3 points will be absolutely pivotal here in this afternoon's fixture, with Olympic coming off the back of back-to-back defeats against Sydney FC and also against the Sutherland Sharks last week, who did the double over them. Olympic sit with 4 wins, 3 draws and 5 defeats on 15 points in 7th place, 5 points outside the top 5. They can ill afford a defeat or dropping points this afternoon in this fixture. For Mount Druitt, it's a very different story. Only 2 wins, 4 draws and 6 defeats through their 12 games sees them on just 10 points in 11th place, and really have been at the foot of the table for most of the season. But despite having one of the worst defence in the league, they've conceded 29 so far at the back. They have managed to score 19 goals themselves, so no slouches going forward. So Olympic will have to be on their best behaviour defensively to make sure they keep out the side from Western Sydney. Let's take a look at how the two sides line up in this afternoon's fixture. For the Sydney Olympic side, in the goals is Paul Henderson, Mitchell Stamatellis, Zach McKenzie, Thomas Whiteside, Nikola Koleski, Jason Madonis, Will Angel, Jinya Ahn, the Korean, Haris Gaitatsis, Peter Kakeris and Alejandro Sanchez, their leading goal scorer with 9 goals, the former La Liga player for Sydney Olympic. On the bench, Darcy Burgess in 19, Ezekiel Concerni on 20, Radovan Pavicevic in 9, while Jack Stewart and Nicholas Satalios are also on the bench. For Mount Druitt, Carlos Saliadare, Solomon John Monahan Vaika, Blake Thompson, Tufik Alamadine, Cooper Koskeri, Josh Gould, Lord Darko, Fabrico Fernandez, Jacob Espostio, Nicholas Trimble and Alex Boyadian on the bench. Luke Clifford, Mac Nikolovsky, the backup goalkeeper, John Roberts, Jordan Gomez and Matt Clues along with Ishmael Hares. So that is how the visitors line up for this evening's or this afternoon's fixture. There's going to be a host of games later this afternoon, later this evening, and we'll keep you across those, as well as those being on the live stream as well. So I hope you are enjoying the coverage wherever you're going to be watching from, in Australia or in Sydney, over the world. And let's hope it's a cracking game of football to win the home side Olympic and visiting Mount Druitt, as Mount Druitt managed to win possession almost immediately and push their way through. We saw a pretty high-tempo under-20s game as immediately Mount Druitt break their way through there. There's a half opportunity, and it's parried away there by the veteran Henderson, luckily, but nice piece of passage of play there from Mount Druitt to start off proceedings. It was a high-tempo and fairly aggressive game, must be said, between Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt in the under-20s competition, with Sydney Olympic getting the 3 points, hanging on to win by 2 goals to 1. A good crowd has come through the gates here at Belmore Sports Ground as well, the spiritual home of Sydney Olympic, as Saliadare comfortably picks up this ball. And it's inching probably towards the 500 to 600 number, maybe even more. And their Olympic fans, they love their side, and they'd love to see them pick up 3 points here this afternoon. My name is Jack Clifton. I'll be guiding you through the next couple of hours of the broadcast, and we'd love to hear your feedback using the hashtag NPL NSW, all one word, on Twitter if you want to join the conversation. I'll leave a comment below on the Facebook live stream if you're watching via that means. Here's Olympic down this right-hand side through Whiteside. Pushed across in the middle of the field to McKenzie. Searching forward. This time it's Whiteside. It's a good pass as he picks up Ahn, the Korean, with a nice ball into the area. Opportunity almost immediately for Olympic, but dispossessed at the last moment, as Druitt were able to get some numbers back there defensively and able to clear. As Whiteside's pass is almost a little bit errant, but comfortably kept in the end by Will Angel on that right side. Playing a mixture of defence and attack. No doubt we'll be hearing his name quite a fair bit this afternoon. Pummeled forward there, trying to find the run of Sanchez, but can't do so. A little jostling in the midfield early on as both these sides try to find their feet in this fixture. That was well won up front there by Monahan Vika. Wearing the number 4 on his back today. He's been ever present for Mount Druitt so far this season, and we'll have a foul against the Rangers. So Olympic will get the first free kick of the afternoon. So 5 points separating these two sides. Mount Druitt, I'm sure, would be desperate to try and pick up 3 points and try and bridge a bit of a gap between the lower echelon of the table, and bottom place that is. And who knows, if they would be going a bit of a run towards the back end of the season, anything is possible. Here's Junior Ahn on the edge of the area. Swings a teasing looking ball in. It's headed away there by Darko. And luckily so for Mount Druitt, because that could have been pretty uncomfortable for them as this ball goes out. And already we're seeing Olympic looking pretty comfortable inside the Rangers half. Ahn. Will jostle for the ball in midfield once more. So Olympic pushing out from the back. No score. 3.5 minutes gone in this fixture this afternoon. These two sides have two pretty big cup games coming up on Wednesday as well. So you wonder whether that will play into the reckoning later today, if it is a tight game, or if either side was able to jump out to a handsome advantage. With a blockbuster clash between Sydney Olympic and Marconi here at Belmore Sports Ground on Wednesday evening at 7:30. That should be an absolute cracker between two sides that have had a long-standing rivalry, a healthy rivalry, but no doubt they would love to see themselves into the round of 32 and with an opportunity. Oh, as we see a body check there from Alameddine. The referee said it was fine, and dusts himself off in the end. So they push forward, trying to search out for run on the far side. So can't get under that one under control. Here's Madonis on that far side. Yeah, so the floodlights have, I wouldn't go as far as saying they've taken effect so far in this fixture, but they certainly will as the evening drags on. It's been a pretty dreary old day here in Sydney. There was a little bit of scattered showers as we drove into the grounds earlier this afternoon. But that has all been pushed away, and it's nothing more than a dreary skyline than anything else. We don't think the weather will play too much of a part in this fixture this afternoon. So just ticked on 5 minutes here at Belmore. No score between Olympic as Mount Druitt, as Mount Druitt try and fight their way back into the game and gain a bit of meaningful possession. Headed away by Thompson into the area. Knocked away by Olympic once more as Thompson recovers and knocks it back to Lord Darko. Darko will go all the way back to Saliadare, who loses the ball initially, but is able to re-trap it as he drives this ball through the centre of the park. Not sure who he was aiming for there as Ahn tees the ball up. Gets the ball back. He's had Kakeris up there if he wanted to use him, but opted against it. Whiteside. One of the famous last names in particularly English football. Manchester United fans will no doubt know about that. As older fans, Junior Ahn skips past Alameddine. Goes back to Whiteside as go forward once more through the run there of Koleski. And Koleski dinks the ball over the top. This is a nice opportunity on that far side for Will Angel, but it will be the first corner of this afternoon's game. Another dead ball opportunity here for Olympic to open proceedings with almost 7 minutes gone. First of several Sunday late Arvo / evening kickoffs here at Belmore Sports Ground. Rockdale against Marconi starting at 4:30, not too far away as this ball is hanging around in the area. Mackenzie almost got on the end of it, but couldn't do so, and it will be a free kick to Mount Druitt anyway, so it all comes to naught. So they escape against, again, once more the visitors. So Rockdale against Marconi at 4:30 and 2 5 o'clock kickoffs. Hakoah City Sydney East up against Sutherland Sharks. Isn't that a big game? Last up against 10th. The Sharks beat Olympic 3-0 at Seymour Shaw Stadium last week and would love nothing more than to get back-to-back wins. And then all of a sudden they almost might be knocking on the door of the top 5. Junior Arn goes back defensively and is able to clear for the home side. And Sydney United against Blacktown City. Blacktown City roared back into form last week, beating Mount Druitt, who we're seeing here this evening, thumping them 4-1. A side that had struggled for goals for the large majority of the NPL season. It was a happy return to form. And Sydney United having that last gasp 3-2 win against Rockdale as it's broken forward there. And this should be a corner for Mount Druitt. It is. Nice piece of work there by Alex Boyadian, the Armenian. Jostling his way inside the area and benefiting his side for a corner. They go for the short corner. Alan Medine on the corner of the area. Managed to get it back now to Thompson. Thompson goes further wide out to Fernandez. Fernandez swings this ball in. It's a teasing one, but a bit of lack of communication from Mount Druitt as no one picked up that one. And now we see Will Angel trying to break away with the ball. In fact, that's not Angel. As they swing across the field and finds the run of Koleski. Koleski with a lovely through ball there looking for the run of Sanchez, but just a little bit too deep. And Saliadare is able to come out and comfortably pick that up. I guess you could say a real veteran of this Mount Druitt side. Spent plenty of years at Blacktown Spartans. Confident shot stopper that is always putting his body on the line for his team. Got to sit on the bench for the Western Sydney Wanderers in the A-League and has played with Parramatta and Blacktown Spartans, Sydney United, just to name a few of those clubs, and now the newly promoted Mount Druitt Town Rangers, who have held themselves in pretty good regard so far this season as Boyadian gets tangled up there on the far side and Olympic will win a free kick. And not looking to muck around to the home side, looking to get a high tempo and continuously try and push that ball forward. Fed through here to Will Angel. What can he do? He has Darko on him. Darko looks to have tripped him up, but referee said it was all ball and Druitt are able to break once more. Thompson, Fernandez. Showing up there was Vaika. And some good triangle-like passing there from the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Are thumping forward, looking for the run there of Alameddine. It's 11 on 11. Junior Arn looks to have caught one in the shin there. And referee is eventually going to award a free kick, despite a Mount Druitt Town player going down injured. So, some aggressive challenges to start this fixture. But I have to say, both sides still feeling each other out in these opening 10 minutes. But kind of get the feeling that it might be one of those games that is pretty physical throughout the 90 minutes. Whiteside. Arn. Back to Whiteside. Lovely through ball there. Being placed forward by Olympic, whose passing has been a joy to watch early on. It was Stamatellis that did that fine piece of work. They now go to Kakaris. Kakaris goes to the edge of the area. Peter Kakaris still going. Tries to whip a ball in. It was well blocked. Kakaris now dancing around. Will have to go back for the run there of his centre-back, Mackenzie. Kakaris still waiting up for the perfect ball as he receives one now. Junior Arn goes back to Kakaris, but Alamedine's on him. He swings the ball into the edge of the area, headed away by Thompson. Goes to Fabrico Fernandez. And Fernandez is going to go downtown. That's exactly what he does, looking for the run forward there of Koskari. Koskari into the area, but can't get his shot in before it's blocked, but does win his side. Another corner, so already we're seeing a couple of corners here to Mount Druitt Town. And they are starting to knock on the door over these last couple of minutes. Going to be swung in from this left-hand side of our broadcast position as the ball's knocked up in the air. And eventually Henderson goes back. And it's going to be another corner. So much to the displeasure of the Olympic faithful here at Belmore Sports Ground. And again, they will have to try and swing this in, one in from the left. Plenty of Olympic players back in the box defensively to try and withstand this onslaught, and it's headed away and will be a throw in for Rangers. Thump forward as Sanchez tries to get his foot on the ball. Hasn't been able to get in the contest so far, the 29-year-old Spaniard as of yet, but hasn't had a whole lot of quality balls directed towards him. He is a real interesting story, the 29-year-old. A fantastic campaign last season where he scored 20 goals, and to be fair, he's probably having just as good of a campaign, if not better, through 13 games. Or this will be his 13th appearance of the season with 9 goals. And very experienced, spent time with Real Zaragoza in the Spanish La Liga, made 3 appearances in their senior team. Did make 79 appearances for their B team, scoring 42 goals, and played for Osasuna. And spent a fair bit of time in the Segunda B division, the national second division in Spain, Caceres. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got Fabrico Fernandez for Mount Druitt, who has Uruguayan has played 5 to 6 seasons in the top 2 divisions of Uruguayan football. So we really are blessed to see some of these really quality players coming and playing in the NPL New South Wales. Not to mention the host of players, homegrown players we see that have played youth football for some of the big A-League clubs and have played A-League first team football themselves. Saliadare put under pressure by Sanchez, but clears up over halfway. Vaika tries to go in there, doesn't know where the ball went, and it's hooked away by Olympic, but into no man's land, and Saliadare is able to clean up at the back, the 29-year-old shot stopper. Thumped forward by Trimble at the back is a nice save. It had to be a good save by Henderson. He's not very happy with his back four because they were really lingering back. And it was almost 1-0 to the visitors. It's a firm strike, but the 43-year-old, who just seems to be getting better with age, was able to deflect that stinging drive away, and he's still trying to marshal his troops as they're not really getting in position. Here it's a nice ball, and it's almost a fantastic goal to Mount Druitt there. It was the higher 40 who tried to hook it back in. But it will be a goal kick here for Olympic, who are probably just relieved to have got through that passage of play without conceding a goal. Whiteside. Koleski. Whiteside once more. It's a nice through ball there, looking for the run of Sanchez, who will get there first, but doesn't have a whole lot of quality time on the ball. It's nodded away by Thompson to Fernandez. Coming back there is Madonis, who heads on. But again, it breaks for Mount Druitt Town, looking for the run of Alameddine, but Jinyaan is there, and the Korean is able to get in behind the defence and looking pretty skillful early on, and then wins the throw-in off the deflection of Thompson. It's been involved in everything, Blake Thompson, so far this afternoon for Mount Druitt. Madonis goes out wide there, looking for the run of Angel, and Angel gets in there. He got the ball off one defender, but wasn't able to dispossess Lord Darko as they combine well. Vaika can't control it, though. Madonis has it once more. Stamatelis on that right side helping out as well. Goes back to Whiteside. Stamatelis. Madonis on the ball. It's a nice ball across the face of the field. And now we have an opportunity with Olympic. Takes a deflection, goes back now. And now Madonna's on the edge of the area. Goes to Kakeris. Kakeris trying to buy his side some time. Goes back there onto the 25 yards from goal and knocked down. Referee said it was fine, and Mount Druitt again counter, as they have done several times in this game. Alameddine on the right side, the former Rockdale City Sun. Back to the centre. Trying to thread the needle, looking for the run of Boya Dian. Can't find it. Fernandez wins it back to Thompson. Thompson's pass in is a great one, but they do manage to recover. Esposito loses possession. Knocks the hands a couple of times, and Olympic bench up in arms. And it will be a free kick going the other way to the Rangers. Inching towards the halfway mark of this first half, and it hasn't really been any clear-cut chances. There's been a couple of corners for Mount Druitt. One where they did manage to hook the ball just wide of Paul Henderson, and it was that stinging drive by Boya Dian that was parried away by Henderson. But outside of those two chances, it's been end-to-end stuff, but it's been a real battle in that central midfield role. So that's going to be a position to keep an eye on over the coming 70 or so minutes. This pass is too heavy, and Henderson is able to get back for knocking it to Whiteside. McKenzie drives that one forward to Madonis, who's popped up on the right side. He's been everywhere. The diminutive number 8 for Olympic, Lordaco, looked like he had his hands on him there. But again, he's been able to get away with that one, perhaps a little bit fortunately as well. So some miscommunication there from Olympic. Some of the runs not angling up to where the passes are heading at the moment. Goal kick for Mount Druitt. Saliadere, it's not a good one at all. Travels about 40 metres, but flies out on the full, which will be a throw-in for Sydney Olympic. And it has been a real torrid time for Sydney Olympic so far this season. I guess a couple of weeks ago, they were in a position that was quite enviable, where they had 4 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats, and I guess many pundits were expecting them to really kick on and step into another gear and maybe show why they were the premiers in 2018. Here's a nice run as Angel knocks it back to Sanchez! It was a great opportunity, but Saliadere did well to stop it. It must be said, it was a pretty tame finish in the end by the Spaniard. Probably like to have that one back, but Saliadere did well to parry it and then get on the rebound, which he had to do. He drives this kick upfield. Still no score, 20 and a half minutes gone. Round 13 of the NPL, Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt Town Rangers. But yeah, they had a 3-2 loss here against Sydney FC a couple of weeks ago, and they were just utterly played off the park by Sutherland last week, which came as a real surprise, as Sutherland had, I wouldn't say they'd been in bad form. They'd strung together a couple of draws. As now Sanchez gets another opportunity, bangs it with his right foot, finishes for his 10th of the season. Clinically done by the 29-year-old Spaniard. That was reminiscent of something you might see in the La Liga. He had a defender in front of him, but was able to thread the needle and drive it past Saliadere. And Sydney Olympic will play from in front here this afternoon. 21 minutes on the clock. And Alejandro Sanchez does what he's done plenty of times over these last 2 seasons at Belmore Sports Ground. He scores another goal, his 10th of the season. And it's now Sydney Olympic 1, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0. Wouldn't say that goal was against the run of play, but I guess they hadn't really built up too many chances previous to that. But that's the great thing about the game of football, is that you can not have a whole lot of possession and not have a whole lot of territory down the opposition's end and still manage to come up with the goods, and that's what Olympic have done here. Sanchez proving his worth once more. 10 goals for the season now. And Imagine that Olympic are going to be bringing with confidence here. They, as I mentioned, against Sutherland, were never really in the game. They lost 3-0 to that one, and now a swinging ball in for the right-hand side. Almost benefit the home side once more. McKenzie pokes it through. Here comes Sanchez. Sanchez dancing his way through the Mount Druitt Town defence. And then a free kick on the edge of the area. It was Thompson that was guilty of the infringement. And then there was a little bit of afters between both sides. It's been a physical start in these first 23 minutes. But they might just want to try and be a little bit smarter here, the Rangers, because you don't want to be giving free kicks at this end of the ground just 20 yards from goal too often. A goal here for Olympic from this free kick, and they would be in a world of hurt, Mount Druitt. Koleski, Arn and Sanchez all standing over the ball. Wouldn't be surprised if this is Sanchez ball, although Koleski looks pretty confident standing behind the delivery of the ball. Free kick. They're about 21, 22 yards from goal. Koleski swings it around. It's a beautiful save by Sully Adare. Might have had a little bit of assistance from the crossbar, but it was a wicked shot, but it was equally well saved by the 29-year-old veteran. He's been pretty good so far this afternoon, pulling out some pivotal stops, and none more so than that one just there. Another opportunity here for Sydney Olympic. Their second corner of the game. Swung in. It's a decent delivery. Mount Druitt Town get up. It's ballooning in the air as Whiteside goes up for it. He misses it a couple of times as it breaks there for Fernandez, and Fernandez clears. It's a big up and under. Reminiscent of many of the rugby league games we see here at Belmore Sports Ground, but it will be a throw-in, so pressure relieved, but only for a short time. They seem intent on tacking down this left channel, don't they? That side of Virginia Arn and Peter Kakeris has benefited them quite well so far this afternoon. Here's Alameddine. Clips the ball forward for Boya Diane, but good defence there by McKenzie. Thump forward once more. Henderson's coming out. There's a bit of miscommunication. Eventually the veteran just thumps it forward and decides the best case of action is to get it out of there. Now Olympic will win a free kick as well. So if you have just joined the broadcast, 25 minutes gone. Sydney Olympic 1, Mount Druitt Town 0. Alejandro Sanchez finishing on 21 minutes after a tidy through ball, and it was a clinical finish into the bottom right-hand corner, which registered his 10th goal of the season and 31 goals in his short career here at Sydney Olympic. Not too many teams can boast a former La Liga player. As Arn now has the ball. Nice through ball there by Kakeris, who wins the ball back. Alameddine comes in. Kakeris still going. Silky feet. And Mount Druitt Town are able to clear for the time being, although they win it back through Sanchez. Madonis! Great save once more there by Sully Adare, who's earning his money so far this afternoon. They feed out wide here to Fernandez. Uruguayan, but it's a miscued pass as Olympic are able to clear downfield once more. Sanchez now getting in there, and that was good play by the front man. They don't always get their credit, these strikers, for some of the defensive work they put in, and now he's a little bit upset they didn't get the throw in. But it's almost like a tidal wave that is sweeping Mount Druitt Town at the moment. They need to just try and settle back into their groove, because Olympic playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. Here's Vaika. Back to Thompson. Nice move there as he gets around the first defender. Goes out wide to Esposito. Back to Thompson. All the way back to Nicholas Trimble. And Trimble with a decent through ball looking for the run of Vaika. Only just evaded the number 4 for Mount Druitt Town. Olympic have possession back for the time being. Going forward now. Sanchez pulls the ball back in the centre. Sanchez, great save by Sully Adare again. Ball is headed goal bound, but thankfully it was away from the goal, but it will be another corner. That Druitt Town defender managed to clear it there, but Sanchez causing Mount Druitt all causes of issues at the back. Had far too much room and space to manoeuvre inside the back four, the visitors, on that occasion. Swung in to the far post. Aliadare comes out. He's gone to ground. There's a lob shot, which might just go in the back of the net. No, Druitt Town are able to clear. Back to Mandonis. Mandonis curls in, looking for a Sydney Olympic header. But again, Aliadare brilliant. This is a lovely drive. But again, Mount Druitt Town are able just to get numbers there and clear. That was a really good defensive display. As they look for the run of Boya Diani, should get there first. Gets his foot on it, but it will be a throw in for Mount Druitt Town. So they've been able to break on the counter and try and create something as Jinya Ahn clears that one upfield. Good defensive play. Boya nice skill there as he beats a couple of defenders, then tries to get his foot on the ball, but Olympic are able to nick in and steal it for the time being. One back here by Rangers. Fernandez out to Lord Darko on that left side. Darko chips one in behind. And then Darko almost gives himself a neck injury. He leapt so high for that header. A bit of possession here for Mount Druitt. As soon as I say that, Madonis is able to win the ball back for the home side. Goes to Gatatsis. McKenzie out to Jinya Ahn. Ahn through the middle to McKenzie. Lanky number 12 goes to Kakeris on the edge of the sideline there. Kakeris tries to get around, but Mount Druitt Town can defensively, staunchly trying to defend their line. Goes forward to Sanchez, but cleared away, looking for the run of Boya Dian. Seems just a little bit exasperated with his side at the moment. Hasn't been able to get the type possession that the number 9 would really like. And this ball will have too much mustard on it there for Alejandro Sanchez, and will restart play with a goal kick. So Olympic searching for their 5th win of the season. 4 wins, 3 draws, 5 defeats. 15 points for the season in 7th place. Haven't really been blown out in any of their fixtures this year. Sydney Olympic, as this ball's head through for Boya Dian. Boya Dian with a great opportunity here. That's a beautiful goal by Alex Boya Dian. That is a cracking finish, and you won't see too many better. A wonderful goal, really against the run of play. And all of a sudden, Mount Druitt Town are level. Sydney Olympic 1, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 1. With 2 defenders on either side of him. He was able to, I guess you wouldn't say he lobbed Paul Henderson, but it was a cracking finish into the top-hand corner. That one was right out of the top drawer. And don't be surprised to see that as one of the nominations for Goal of the Week. Olympic need to try and fight back from that, because that goal really did come out of the blue. Will Angel. And Madonis. But a couple of defenders still going Madonis. Great skill on the ball. Goes forward to Will Angel. Could Olympic reply almost immediately? They almost do. Harris Gatatsis almost threading the needle there, but again, Carlos Aliadare has been a man-mountain between the sticks, again saving a certain goal, and he's probably made 4 of 5 really pivotal saves so far this afternoon. And I think we've only had a third of this fixture gone. Only 31 minutes gone in this game. There might only be 2 goals on the score sheet, but if you have a look at the shots at goal and shots on target, we're probably inching towards double figures as it stands. Ball swung in from the right-hand side, getting up for it. Evades everyone. Whiteside heads it back into the area. Gatatsis couldn't get up there, neither could Sanchez. And they cleared down the left-hand side. Mount Druitt Town to Alameddine, the former Rockdale man. He's got a bit of support up on this front line. He's still going as Alameddine, and it's a pretty good run in the end. The ball does go out, but it is going to be a Mount Druitt Town throw in. Quickly, Alameddine to the edge of the area, still keeps his feet. Eventually goes down under the challenge. He wanted the free kick, but that was all ball, said the referee. Katsatsis feeds forward Lord Darko with a body check there on Koleski. And he's asking where happens the advantage. And Thompson is a little bit upset as well, trying to remonstrate his case for Mount Druitt. And a few players crowding around the referee. The referee is the most popular man out in the pitch at the moment, at least in that little exchange between both sides. So free kick just inside their own half, Olympic. 12 minutes till half time, plus minimum added time as well. Push forward to Koleski. It's not a great back pass. It's been able to clear there by Angel, looking for Kakeris, who's there, and the ball is headed back, and it's going to go out for a corner. So the safety option being taken there by Jacob Esposito. By my watch, this is the 5th corner of the game for Sydney Olympic, as Madonis takes the quick one, goes to Kakeris. Kakeris swings in a wicked-looking ball, and Olympic almost get on the end of that. They are really knocking at the door. Will be another corner, though. Slightest of deflections being able to fend that ball away from the grasp of the Olympic attackers. So the Olympics certainly don't look like a side that conceded less than 5 minutes ago. Swung in a decent delivery. Again, Saliadare palms it away. And they'll go out for a throw in. Right side with a throw in. It's going to launch this one into the box. Headed away by Thompson. It's a very good header. Goes about 25 or 30 metres. Beautiful pass back inside to Whiteside as ball's cleared into touch. Hotly contested game. I think both sides know how much is on the line in this game. At this stage of the season, 3 points can mean so much between making the playoffs or avoiding relegation or getting away from the bottom half of the ladder. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they've conceded 29, now 30 goals for the season, Mount Druitt, but there's certainly no slouches going forward. They've scored 20 themselves at just a tick below 1.5 goals per game, which is, if their defence was a little bit watertight, they'd probably be knocking on the top 5 door, so to speak. Will Angel. Again busy, goes to Madonis. Alameddine in close attention. Still Will Angel. Will Angel with a decent attempt, but far enough wide that it didn't really bother Carlos Saliadare. Olympic know that 3 points could put them back in the hunt for playoff football. Top 5. If things were to go their way, they could be just 2 points away from top 5 football if they won. And as I mentioned, results went their way. Well, one here by Koleski. Koleski to the edge of the area. Thompson is there defending. Be yet another corner for Olympic. They are submerging on this Mount Druitt Town defence. But the 6 corners they've had to date, unfortunately haven't been able to do anything with them. This will be corner 7. Mount Druitt Town themselves have had a couple of corners as well, so there's been plenty of opportunities for assists from the corner flag, but none forthcoming at the moment. As Jinya Ahn will curl this one in from the right-hand side. Decent delivery. Sanchez heads over the bar. He had a free header, but Mount Druitt were in close attention. And restart play with a goal kick. inside the final 10 minutes of this first half. Sydney Olympic 1, Mount Druitt 1. As dusk slowly starts to set on the Sydney skyline. Really iconic ground, Belmore Sports Ground, obviously used for the first grade rugby league, the NRL a little bit, as well as the Canterbury Bulldogs Jersey Fleggan reserve grade sides, but really is the spiritual home of Sydney Olympic in the NPL. Big ground that probably holds just shy of 15,000 when it's all packed out. Blocked away by Kakaris as Esposito managed to clear, but it's a bit of a up and under kick there as now Thompson gets in the battle and the referee lets them play on. Gatatsis now with an opportunity at the edge of the area, decides to just feed the ball wide. Now to Madonis. Madonis gets past Lord Darko, feeds the ball into the area. Suddenly Adare was awake to it and able to come out and make sure that it didn't lead to any more attacking opportunities. And now they break forward here through Fabrico Fernandez. The Uruguayan trying to attract defenders. Chips the ball over the top as Vaika's in there, but Whiteside clears. Onto the old Family Hill side of Belmore Sports Ground, or the Peter Moore scoreboard side of the ground. But a very iconic ground, Belmore. You feel like you're right in the neighbourhood here. Dropped on houses as breaks now as they try and thread the needle and go for Alameddine as a bit of a bicycle type kick by Olympic as they clear. Kakaris puts his foot on the ball and now goes on a bit of a gallop through midfield. Whiteside, and he'll go back to Henderson and play the safe option. But then at the other side of the ground you've got where the train line is, and often if you're watching any televised games, or maybe even today, you'll see the regular train services that are either going towards Belmore train station or away from it. I'm not well enough versed to tell you what time the train is or where it's heading, but I know it was one of the traits with Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs when they played here on a full-time basis in the 70s, 80s and 90s. Probably tell that they played here just a couple of weeks ago with the brandings on the field. Game against the Melbourne Storm here last week with a nice crowd. A nice crowd here today for the NPL as well. Not a great back pass there as Whiteside loses footing, and then Stamatellis is able to drive upfield. I think he was hoping that Will Angel was going to get on the end of that, but doesn't. Lord Darko has to clear though under the pressure of Sanchez. Pushes forward here for Alameddine. It looks like he switched that left side of midfield. Vaika, it's not a great pass, and it's cleared away. Now Eugenia Ahn, flick ball, tries to tee up the Korean but can't, and now nice little opportunity here as Cooper Koskeri dances his way through. It's not a great pass in the end, it must be said. Handball is the appeal from Olympic. Referee says play on. Flicks it on now for Kakaris, and Kakaris. And the boos are just starting to get a little bit louder here at Belmore Sports Ground. The fans are really starting to get into it. And some of the 50-50 calls that have gone against the home side grinding the gears of the Olympic faithful. McKenzie goes forward, and it will be a free kick. This will be a yellow card. And the first bookable offence of the game. Josh Gould, the man accused of the foul there, and the referee brings out the yellow card. So he'll need to be on his best behaviour for the next 50 or so minutes. Only 3 minutes left of regulation time in this first half, and it has been an absorbing fixture between Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt Town. It's a game that's really been turned on its head somewhat after that goal by Mount Druitt, because they were all at sea. Madonis almost won there by Fernandez. Madonis wins it back. Koleski. Gillespie now doesn't know what to do with it. Deflects off a Rangers defender, so will be a throw-in, so they don't lose an awful lot there. Yeah, they're under all sorts of pressure, Mount Druitt, after that first goal win in by Olympic. And the next probably 4 or 5 minutes, if it wasn't for Carlos Aliadare's great skills in the sticks, then it could have easily been 2 or 3. Now Alameddine wins it, and they hit him on the counter once more. Alameddine goes out wide now to Kozkari, but he gives it away cheaply. McKenzie to Gatatsis. Back to Gatatsis. Jinya Ahn swings a decent-looking ball in. It's cleared away there by Darko. Only momentarily, though, as it's almost knocked home, as the high boot will be the infringement on this occasion. Free kick for Mount Druitt. So 11 minutes gone in the other NPL fixture going on at the moment between Rockdale City and Marconi at Illendon Sports Ground. Rockdale leading by a goal to nil. It was heartbreak for them last week. Free kick to Mount Druitt as Kozkari is just a little bit over exuberant in that latest challenge. Yeah, Rockdale having a 2-0 deficit overturned. They got it back to 2-2, and then a late goal by Patrick Antelmi in stoppage time was enough to get Sydney United maximum points in a fiery game out there at Illendon Sports Centre. Saliadare drives forward. It's headed away by Ahn. Kept in by Kozkari, and it will be a throw-in for Sydney Olympic. Certainly Junior Ahn and Peter Kakaris have been the players heavily involved, along with Alejandro Sanchez. Cleared upfield by Stamatellis. Kind of get the feeling that Olympic might be happy just to put the cue in the rack and just try and defend out these last couple of minutes. Can't imagine there'll be any more than a minute of added time, as there normally is in the first half of these fixtures. Fernandez battling Whiteside, and it's shepherded out for a goal kick. So it is a minute of added time. So inside the final 60 seconds of this first half. 1-1 the score. Is there one final twist or turn? Alameddine keeps this one in, but it's probably going to be in vain as Paul Henderson happily shepherds that one over the byline once more. Stamatellis to Will Angel. Back to Stamatellis. He's been strong defensively for Olympic. He goes forward to Gatatsis, but he can't get on it. Lord Darko heads out for a throw-in. Might just be one of the final plays of this first half. Back to McKenzie. Stamatellis drives it forward, goes off Vaika, and one back. And that will be half-time. An excellent opening 45 minutes of football for the neutral viewer. But I'm sure both the fan base of Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt Town Rangers will still be feeling pretty nervous as both their respective sides head to the sheds. It's 1-1 after the first 45 minutes here at a cool Belmore Sports Ground. It opened up for Sydney Olympic. They scored the first of the goals and played from in front on 21 minutes, with Alejandro Sanchez finding his 10th goal of the season after a clever through ball. Only for that to be cancelled out less than 10 minutes later. Alex Boyer-Dian scoring one of the goals of the season, lashed home an incredible vicious shot into the top right-hand corner to restore parity and make it 1-1. And that is how it stayed for the final 15 minutes of the first half. You're listening and watching to the NPL live stream round 13 action between the visitors Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Sydney Olympic. 1-1 at the half. We'll be back in 15 minutes for all the action of the second half. Welcome back to Belmore Sports Ground. Hope you enjoy catching your breath for the 15 or so minutes that we're away. And the second 45 could be pivotal in both the seasons of Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt Town Rangers. 1-1 the score. Was open the scoring on 21 minutes. Did Sydney Olympic through Alejandro Sanchez. Was cancelled out by Alex Boyer-Dian on half an hour. Just kind of feel that that's not going to be the final say in this game. Could be plenty of goals in this second half, and we'll be here to bring you all. My name is Jack Clifton. We'll bring you through the coverage in this next 45 minutes. Sydney Olympic 1, Mount Druitt Town 1. There's Boyer-Dian, who almost finds his way through and appeals for a free kick, but it falls on deaf ears as it's thumped forward there by Jinya Ahn. And Donis, as this ball's clipped forward for Sanchez, and all of a sudden, bit of an opportunity here for Olympic. Sanchez to the edge of the area, might even try and have a crack. Sanchez with a great goal! There isn't even 60 seconds gone in the second half, and Alejandro Sanchez is the man of the moment at Belmore. A fantastic goal. His first one was very good, and this one was even better. Picks himself up a brace, and just like that, Olympic have to lead back inside 60 seconds in the second half. Sydney Olympic 2, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 1. A beautiful goal from Sanchez, the Spaniard, curling an unbelievable shot past Carlos Alejandro, who did his best with a full-length dive, but couldn't do anything about that. Only a minute gone in the second half, and Olympic are back in front 2-1. Going to take something special from the visitors now. We need to make sure they keep their heads up, because another goal to Olympic, I wouldn't say it's good night, but it'd be a tall order for the Western Sydney outfit to come back from. Fed forward by Angel, looking for Madonis. Throw in for Olympic. Angel wins the ball back. Goes to Koleski. Bit of trickery being tried in the midfield there by Sydney Olympic. Well, Angel again, he's at the centre of things, isn't he? The diminutive number 7, headed away by Darko. Thompson heads forward to Fernandez. So go forward, Vaika wins it in the midfield. Good passage of play here this is. Fernandez now looking to go forward for the run, but it's one away now here by Madonis for Sydney Olympic, and they're coming forward in droves, aren't they? Knocked away. Koleski now pushes it forward here for Sanchez. Just gets a little bit hung up there as he can't swing the ball in initially, but it's headed away from Gatatsis. Goes back now to Koleski. He loses it, and it's taken forward here by Koskeri. And Koskeri goes to Boyer-Dian. I don't know why that wasn't a free kick. It looked like a push in the back, but anyway, it's Olympic that will continue. It'll be Sanchez with a speculator. He can taste 3, can't he? And as can Olympic. Have come out firing in the second half. 3 minutes gone. Sydney Olympic 2. Mount Druitt Town Rangers 1. Pushed forward by Rangers. Vaika now with the ball. Nice little run again by Vaika as he swings the ball in, but it's straight down the throat of Paul Henderson. Right idea, but just didn't have the support in the box. And Donis now goes to Gatatsis, swings in. This is a delicious looking ball, but Olympic unable to get on the end of it. Goes back to Saliadare, who gets it out of harm's way, and it's collected by Jinya Ahn. Now Gatatsis once more. It's blocked by Darko. And looks to be in a little bit of discomfort The number 13 for Mount Druitt Town. So we currently have 4 matches live for you in the NPL. It is really a cracking evening of football. And all of these matches pivotal in season 2019. So Rockdale did lead 2-0 against Marconi, and now it is 2-2 at Illingdon Sports Centre. After 33 minutes, 8 minutes gone. Sydney Hikoa City East 0, Sutherland 0. And Sydney United 0, Blacktown City 0. So, Mount Druitt Town, after conceding that goal, just look to be a little bit more confident now going forward. So he screamed down that right-hand side. The referee says no. Players just got tangled up unintentionally. And we'll restart play with a goal kick. Stamatellis goes forward, tries to thread the needle. Whiteside goes forward to Koleski, back to Whiteside. Trying to control this midfielder, Olympic. Doing a decent job at the moment. Jinya Ahn. Here goes Koleski. Got plenty of numbers behind the ball to Mount Druitt. Stamatellis goes back in the middle looking for the run there of Lopez. Lopez charging in, back into the centre. This should be a goal, but a fantastic save by Saliadare. A really, really good save, which keeps his side in the contest. I think it might have been Harris Gatatsis that had the opportunity. But it really was a special save. It was a stinging shot. And now we see Fernandez break 3. As this will be a yellow card. Mackenzie coming back defensively. Probably a foul he needed to make, at least for his team's sake, as Fernandez was charging forward for the visitors. Intriguing opening 10 minutes we've had here. Can Mount Druitt Town reply to that goal which happened inside 60 seconds? Now Jinya Ahn charges forward. Loses control initially but manages to win it back. Swung in from the left-hand side, but Nick Trimble is back there and comfortably able to regather possession for his side and reset from the back. Vaika goes for it. He loses the ball. Madonis out wide now to Will Angel. Angel with a swinging ball which isn't too far away from troubling the keeper. Solidarity watches that as it just skimmed the crossbar. They are really knocking on the door now, Sydney Olympic, looking full of confidence and throwing everything at Mount Druitt. Almost 10 gone second half. Sydney Olympic 2, Mount Druitt 1. Solidare drives upfield. Hoping to find a chink in this defensive armour of Olympic, and now running forward is Madonis. He's onside. But Saliadare read that like a book and did well to clear up over the halfway line. You'd hate to see what the scoreline might be if Carlos Saliadare wasn't playing this afternoon. Probably made 5 or 6 really quality saves and a couple of really nice interceptions at the back. Mount Druitt Town have him to thank. The score does only read 2-1 at the moment, although it could get worse. Stamatellis with a poor pass, and Lord Darko manages to win the ball. Good challenge coming back in defence by Sanchez. So Darko with the throw in. He's been heavily involved for the visitors today as well. Defensively doing a really good job. As Vaika with a nice run through there. There's going to be a free kick after the ball initially went out of play. Boyadian, the man to have been tripped up there by Will Angel. Swung in, decent delivery, headed away by Olympic. Yellow card. Well, Darko over there on the far side, near the Petermore scoreboard side of the ground for to be a pretty cynical challenge in the end. So the free kick will go the way of the home side. Paul Hennison, he hasn't really been tested too much this afternoon. He had one stinging save that he had to make, and then an absolute worldie of a goal by Alex Boyadian. On the edge of the area, here's Sanchez! Almost three. Saliadare again getting across there. He's playing like a man possessed tonight. Full stretch and just tipped it around the corner of the post. Sanchez popping up everywhere, the 29-year-old Spaniard. Already 2 for the day, 11 for the season. If he continues this form, Olympic might go on to win this contest. Swung into the far post, punched away by Saliadare out for a throw in. Coming forward will be Will Angel to take this throw in. Vainly searching for a third goal, Sydney Olympic. They know that would really lay the platform for them going on and winning this game. Madonis back to Angel. Angel to Madonis. Madonis swung in. Decent ball. Headed away there by Trimble, though. Lovely slide challenge there. Headed away by Will Angel. He's been superb this afternoon. Madonis just a little bit too heavy his touch there. And then that'll be the throw in. Really well won by Will Angel. Coming off the back there of Blake Thompson, who's, I wouldn't say gone missing in this second half, but certainly hasn't been involved as he was in the first stanza. Koleski up forward looking for the run there of Madonis. Referee said there was no problems with the challenge by Darko, who's already on a yellow card, so he needs to be careful. Boyadian goes across the face, finds Alameddine, and Alameddine, like an AFL player, coming in with a body check there, almost like a bit of a shepherd, as Koskeri loops the ball across the face of goal. Stays in the field of play momentarily. Alameddine pulls it back in. He reckons it was still in, but the linesman on the far side disagreed. And play will be restarted with a goal kick. So almost an hour gone. Almost into the final 30 minutes of play. Won't be panic stations just yet for Mount Druitt Town. Plenty of time left. But they won't want to be behind on the scoreboard for too much longer out of the remaining 31 minutes of regulation time. Clip forward, but into no man's land, and that'll be Carlos Saliadare's ball. Sutherland have taken the lead in their game against Hikoa Sydney City East. 1-0 after 17 minutes and no change to the scores in the other game. Sydney United and Blacktown 0-0, and Rockdale at the cusp of half-time, 42 minutes gone. They're 2-2 against Marconi after Rockdale did lead 2-0. Swung in from the right, coming out was Henderson. Powerful punch upfield. Only as far as Fabrico Fernandez. Fernandez with a shot, it's blocked by an Olympic defender, and that's easy pickings for Henderson in the end. He drives this upfield. They're not looking to slow things down. The Olympic side, as now we see Kakeris get his foot on the ball. Good play there by the left winger. Goes back to Kalinski. Now Gaytatsis on the edge of the area. He's got Darko marking him. Will Angel. Angel curls the ball into the back post. That Georgetown play goes down. Ball then is lashed goal bound. It is harmlessly over the bar. Goal kick for the visitors. 60 minutes gone. Sydney Olympic 2. Mount Georgetown Rangers 1. Thumped up third by Saliadare, nodded on. But only as far as Will Angel back there. In fact, it was Whiteside, Stamatella, sorry, that was able to clear that one almost onto the roof here at Belmore Sports Ground. Darko. Alameddine. They're pushing, aren't they, Mount Druitt? They're not going to die wondering. They're not sitting deep or trying to just invite pressure by Olympic and then hit them on the counter. They're looking to push forward whenever possible. Thompson. Thompson then comes in, gives it forward to Alameddine, back to Thompson. Thompson again looking for the run of Alameddine down that right side. Alameddine gets there and almost wins it. Will be a goal kick in the end, as the challengers continue to be physical, hard-hitting stuff as it has been for the 62 minutes in this game. Will Angel. Nice little move there, but Darko uses his body well to win that. Now goes to Blake Thompson. Nice little nutmeg by Thompson, who wins the ball back. Nice battle with Angel. He goes down under the presence of that challenge, and it's a free kick about 40 or so metres from goal. So not going to thump this one in the box. They're looking like they're just going to try and pass it around here, Mount Druitt. Maybe just try and find some passage of passes that might just cause Olympic to become undone a little bit. Thompson drives this one out to the right, headed away by Jinya Ahn. Now picked up by Gaytatsis, who went down the challenger Alameddine. And this one will be a free kick. So pressure released for the home side. Nice battle down that far side by Junior Ahn. That was really well done. He comes into the area. It's not a great delivery in the end, but the lead-up work was absolutely fantastic. It's Koskari now down the left side. It's a nice little poked ball there for Boyadan. He can't get back there and show enough speed, although Stamatellis then falls over. Manages to keep the ball in, and then it's a lovely ball onto the feet of Nikola Koleski. Really calm, present play there by Sydney Olympic to get out of what was a bit of a tricky situation. Kakeris goes back here to Whiteside. Here's McKenzie. Still no substitutions for either team. 64 minutes gone, so Although we can see a little bit of movement on the Mount Druitt Town bench, so it looks like they're going to bring their first substitute on. These sides have cup games midweek as well, so you'd wonder where that comes into the thought process at all. Mount Druitt Town have the ultimate task of having to go down to Wollongong to the south coast and take on the Wollongong Wolves, who scoring goals for fun. Thumped Manly last week 4-0 and destroyed Apia last night 4-0 as well. So they're in red hot form, and they would love to book a spot in the last 32 of the FFA Cup. Meanwhile, Sydney Olympic take on Marconi here at the Belmore Sports Ground next Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. I believe that game is going to be live streamed, which will be fantastic for anyone that wants to watch it. Unfortunately, it's going up against State of Origin, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of football fans that would love to see a battle between two of the heavyweights of the NPL. And a round of 32 spot swung in by Junior Ahn. Saliaderi with a great take as he throws it forward here for Fabrico Fernandez, but it's far too heavy. And Olympic are able to get their foot on the ball momentarily, but then they put the ball into touch. So final 25 minutes of regulation time we've come into here in the Canberra region. Not an overly cool evening. Cool enough to have the trackies and the jumper on, as a lot of the fans do here at Belmore. It's not as cold as we've seen in recent days. So a substitution for Mount Druitt Town, as we see both Luke Clifford and John Roberts coming on. Roberts a real star in the making. A Western Sydney Wanderers player. Boyadan coming off, and also Cooper Koskeri. So a double swap for them. But John Roberts, who's been a really good player in the junior levels for the Socceroos, under 16s and under 18 levels, as this ball swung in, it's headed just wide. He got on the end of it to Gatatsis, but couldn't direct it goal bound. Goal kick for the visitors. Yeah, Roberts just 18 years of age and under 16 and under 19 rep for Australia. He played at the Asian Football Federation Championships, the under 16 competition there, and scored 8 goals, including a last minute goal against Vietnam, which enabled Australia to level 3-3 and then eventually won on penalties. So he was the Golden Boot winner in that tournament and has settled into life quite well at Mount Druitt. As well as being a youth league player for the Western Sydney Wanderers, as Mount Druitt Town are able to clear into touch to stop any more forward progression by Olympic. So a strong forward man, so they'll be looking to see him hold up the ball and use his strength on the ball to try and open up some avenues of success in the passing game for Mount Druitt. As this ball's swung forward upfield. And it looks like there might be the first substitution of the game for Sydney Olympic as well, as Jack Stewart has been doing a little bit of warming up in front of us, and he's standing next to his head coach, ready to be thrown into the fray for the final 20 or so minutes. Push forward, here's Kakaris. Nice little run once more from the number 44. He's been lively today for the home side. Wins the ball back. Long ball across field here to Will Angel. Go back to Stamatellis. Under pressure from Roberts, but he gets it forward to Koleski. And Koleski looks like he might have been fouled there by Darko. He is. Darko skating on very thin ice there. He's already on a yellow, but gets away without any further caution. So it looks like it might be Harry Gatatsis that's going to come off, and Jack Stewart's going to come on for him into that midfield role and just try and bolster things for the final little period of this match. 2-1 Olympic lead at the moment. And it is Gatatsis that makes his way off. So Jack Stewart into the fray. Whiteside out to Mackenzie. Junior Ahn. That's a nice looking ball in for Stamatellis. Heads across the face of goal, but no one could get their foot on the ball. It's been all Olympic of late. They've had a lot of possession, as we now see Roberts with a nice little through ball here, looking for the run of Fernandez, but Henderson is awake to it and thumps it into touch. But it's just those little moments in the game where Mount Druitt can pull themselves back into the contest. Wasn't really anything going on there, but the exchange of pass there between Roberts and Fernandez were good. Alamadine back to Esposito. It's all the way back here to Saliadare, and they reset once more. It's taken forward by Trimble. Trimble under all sorts of pressure there. Plenty of hands between both the players as Thompson goes back to his goalkeeper in Saliadare. He decides that the best case of action is to drive it upfield. Is what he does. Stewart and Darko battling fervently there in the back as now Roberts tries to get his foot on the ball and might do that because it was a pretty poor clearance by Will Angel. Does dribble into touch, but the throw-in will go the way of Olympic. Struggled to get their foot on the ball of Mount Druitt lately. Olympic doing a good job of controlling the possession as they continue to do here. Push forward, Kakaris. Third goal you'd think might just knock the stuffing out of Mount Druitt Town. Good looking ball, Stewart comes in, but he heads it harmlessly over the bar. That was a good passage to play in the lead up, and the applause here at Belmore credits that. Finish just a little bit off. They set up from the back to the Rangers. Trimble. Thompson goes back to Saliadare. Nice work there by Clifford as he got his foot on the ball and was able to keep control of possession for a little bit, but Whiteside is able to clear up field looking for Kakaris, who's been absolutely everywhere on that left side. Alamadine. Back now to Clifford. Wasn't a great pass. Fernandez goes to Roberts. Thinks about the shot. Pushes it forward now and tries to get Vaika involved. He can't control possession. An Olympic clear once more. Darko heads forward. Now we see Madonis. Stewart. Almost a football tackle there by Darko. Needs to be careful. Forward. Fernandez. Vaika. Now Clifford. Clifford. Well blocked and cleared away by Olympic. It was all hands on deck there. Darko goes down to the challenge and looks to be in a fair bit of pain. But Olympic continue to strive forward. Here's Jack Stewart. Might even make it all the way into the box. He does. Thompson's following him though. Back to Madonis. Thinks about the shot. Knocks the ball back here to Stewart. Stewart gets into the area. Pulls across the face of goal, but there was only yellow canary jumpers there. Fernandez finds Roberts. Oh, and that's a nice ball for Alamadine. Opportunity here. Alamadine, that's a great block in the end. Jinya Ahn coming back. A winger into defence there to block that shot from Alamadine, and that was a golden opportunity for Mount Druitt. They'll win the corner though, their third of the game. And it will be Tufik Alamadine to take it. Curled in. Over cross of everyone. Evaded Vaika there as it's thumped upfield. And Saliadare just controls that on the chest and says, let's push forward, boys. Almost into the final quarter of an hour, and Olympic playing a lot deeper, trying to absorb the pressure that Mount Druitt are throwing at them. Just haven't been able to find that last pass in this second half. Have the visitors, and that will be a free kick as Sanchez goes down. Bundled down by Vaika. Koleski goes out to the left. Kakaris. Curling, amazing run, Kakaris. It was a great shot, but equally well saved by Saliadare, who continues to keep his side in the game. Fernandez. He goes back to Lord Darko. And Darko's lost possession there momentarily and eventually has to clear it out. I'll get a goal kick to benefit them, the Mount Druitt side, but that was nervous times for the left back for the Rangers. You just kind of feel there's another twist or turn in this game, don't you? And the way the first half went and the opportunities that both sides have had in the second period as Thompson dispossessed. Koleski had it. It's a foul, though, as the boos round out at Belmore Sports Ground. Again, a panic clearance from the Rangers. Headed forward, Vaika heads for Roberts. Great chance for Roberts, who'll head and level for Mount Druitt. Well, we said that there might be another twist or turn in this, and from absolutely nothing, a ball lumped forward, and John Roberts in the right place at the right time gets there first and nods it over an on-rushing Paul Henderson. And Mount Druitt Town, they've been knocking at the door for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and they finally get the reward on 76 minutes. Sydney Olympic 2, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 2. Well, still plenty of time left in this fixture. Scorecard or scoreboard is going to tick over to 77 minutes. Maybe Sydney Olympic just invited that on themselves a little bit there. You never want to go into your shell too early, and the last 5-10 minutes, yeah, fair enough, but 72, 73 minute mark and sitting deep and defending, it can sometimes be a downfall. It certainly was there, but great substitutions by Mount Druitt. And John Roberts getting himself on the score sheet. First goal of the season as well. He's playing in his third game. Crowd still in full voice though. The Olympic chant has been echoing out for most of the game, as looks like we've got a jersey change here. So I think that was Blake Thompson, who's taken off the jersey 6 and is going to be wearing jersey 27 now for those playing at home. An issue with the playing kit there as we lose a couple of minutes that will be added on to the minimum added time at the end of regulation, of which there's only 11 and a half minutes of regulation left as Mackenzie almost loses possession there. A nice through ball there for Peter Kakaris, but he loses it as it's won by Trimble. They go down that right side once more, looking for the run of Roberts, and that seems to be the ploy for the visitors. Try and knock those through balls through for John Roberts. He's pretty pacey attacker as he manages to put pressure on Stamatellis. That is a really good piece of play as a striker. If you want to be a good young striker and want to be tracking back, you need to watch footage of that, because that was really good stuff from John Roberts. So Nicholas Sartalios is coming on. It's an injury on the far side, so that's why we haven't seen an Olympic player come off. He is off on the far side. think it might be Sanchez for Olympic, number 14, but quality player Nicholas Sartalios. Up front, and he gets to be thrown the fray for the final 10 or so minutes. Here's Koleski. Good challenge by Darko, but it will be a throw-in for the home side. What do they have up their sleeve, Sydney Olympic? An absorbing game of football, but they know they need 3 points. Draw is not really going to help them in their predicament at the moment. Angel throws this one deep into the area and headed away. And that will be a goal kick, so things just not going to plan for the Sydney Olympic side at the moment. Jack Stewart tried to get on the end of that, but was probably under too much pressure. Angel heads upfield. Miscued header though, you must say, as a throw-in will go to Mount Druitt. Darko with the throw-in. Roberts. Handball. That will go against Blake Thompson on that occasion. Olympic reset from the back. Inside the final 10. Is there going to be a winner between these two sides? They weren't separated in the first half, and at the moment, they're not separated in this second stanza. McKenzie chips the ball in, looking for Sartilios. And looks like the ball is actually still in. Well, eventually it will be going out for a corner. So an opportunity here for Olympic to get something out of this passage of play, but it really was a bizarre passage of play with the ball bouncing back up off a leg there of Sartilios. And Sartalios is in there along with the rest of Olympic as the ball swinging up and almost goes in. Saladare got enough on it to keep it away, but I don't think he knew too much about it. As Roberts is going to be called for a foul. He's not happy about it, and there's a lot of feeling in this game now. As any 50-50 decision that goes against any team, they're going to feel aggrieved. Handy free kick about 30 yards from goal. Koleski's going to take it. Koleski finally gets the free kick, and it's not a bad one. Sartilios was the first one there, appealing for a corner. And the referee is going to say that it is going to be a corner, I believe. Hasn't actually made an indication of what it is, but it will be a corner for Olympic. On with the corner. Double digits in corners now, the Sydney Olympic side. Haven't scored one goal from it though. Arn swings in, free header, just balloons up. So Lord Darko is able to thump downfield and find Roberts. Roberts with a nice little clip ball back inside. Another nice little back heel there by Fernandez as he wins it forward. Deflects off the shin though of the Mount Druitt Town player and goes into touch. Lots of tempo, both sides sensing they can win this game. Goes forward to Fernandez. Thompson. He just lumps this one forward for Clifford, but he can't get there. Fernandez heads on once more, and then Olympic. Stamatellis hitting into the back of Will Angel, so the throw-in will go to the visitors. Would be some turnaround if they could nab a goal and get their third win of the season. Down 1-0 and 2-1. Twice they've pulled themselves back into this game. Darko with the throw-in. Headed away. Roberts gets his foot on the ball. Roberts with a speculator. It was ambitious from the 18-year-old, but you've got to give him credit for trying. Pushing forward, Olympic. Kakaris upfield looking for the run of Whiteside and almost falls fortuitously there for the centre half of Sydney Olympic. But it's Mount Druitt Town that win it back. Goes back to Saliadare, who almost waits an eternity, almost a tracking Whiteside on that occasion. Here's Jinya Ahn. Kakaris. Goes back now to McKenzie. It looks like he shifted back into that centre half role. Forward now for Ahn, under pressure from Alameddine. That was well won. Alameddine down the sideline. Couldn't keep it in. Tried to thread the needle in between the pitch and the sideline. Couldn't keep that ball from going out. 85 minutes. Olympic 2. Mount Druitt 2. Push forward, headed away there by McKenzie. In fact, it was Will Angel. The ball goes forward here for Roberts. He looks dangerous every time he's on the ball, doesn't he? Pokes the ball through for Fernandez. Can't get a clean touch on it, but now pushes forward now for Alameddine, who's charging into the area, pushes it across the centre of the face. And it's knocked out for a corner. And now Mount Druitt Town get their opportunity to knock on the door and potentially get a match winner. Still 2-2 between Rockdale and Marconi. 52 minutes gone there. Almost half-time at Hensley Athletic. It's Hakoah 0, Sutherland 1. And 39 minutes gone. Sydney United and Blacktown 1-0 as this ball is easily taken there by Henderson as he throws forward, looking for Kakaris, who's out there. And now we see Darko manage to keep the ball in. Goes forward to Roberts. Roberts flicks on. Might be a handball there. Referee said there was no problem, though. And now Kakaris goes through. He'll win the free kick. In fact, no, it's offside is the call from the referee. It's a mixture of excitement and nerves being shown by both teams at the moment and both fan bases of teams. Obviously, both these sides want to get forward and try and find that winner, but at the same time, you don't want to leave yourself so exposed at the back that you concede a goal and the point goes begging. Although for Olympic, I know there's still plenty of fixtures remaining in the season, but 1 point or 0 points probably doesn't help them a whole lot. Although I guess 1 point is better than none. So it goes forward to Fernandez, trying to get in there. Whiteside gets back and crunches this one forward up over halfway. Thompson heads back into the centre of the park. And goes to Kakaris. Kakaris storming through the midfield. Stewart. Back here to Will Angel. Kakaris. Forward to Madonis. Nice ball. Stewart looked like he might have been infringed there by a Mount Druitt Town player, but the referee said it's fine. They get the ball back anyway through McKenzie. He goes now to Ahn. Ahn swings a delicious looking ball. Stewart got on the end of it. Went in the back of a Mount Druitt Town defender though. And now they push themselves down this left-hand side through Clifford. Roberts. I think Roberts might have been offside anyway, so he tried to pull out of that, but it will be a free kick regardless. 2 minutes of regulation time left, plus added on time. Probably thinking around the 2 to 3 minute mark, maybe 3, considering we did have a bit of a stoppage for when Blake Thompson had to change his shirt number around the 76th, 77th minute mark. Deflected away. Stewart tries to get his foot on the ball. It's now cleared up field by Mount Druitt. Fernandez. It's a speculating ball forward, but Clifford never really had any chance of competing for that. And now we see Koleski moving forward. Goes down to Madonis. Is there a final twist in this one? Out to Kakaris. Peter Kakaris! Vicious shot. But over the bar once more. It was worth the attempt, but just didn't really get his head over the football. "60 seconds plus added on time here at Belmore Sports Ground, and it's looking more and more likely could be a share of the spoils between Sydney Olympic and Mount Druitt. Saliadare punches this ball forward. Headed down there by Mackenzie. And they break down the right. Sartilios looking to get on the end of that, but is not successful. There's a few fans already heading towards the exits almost, and knowing what's could happen over these last couple of minutes. Throwing Darko goes forward looking for the run of Roberts. Up there is Clifford. Look like he might have hit in the back here. It's going to be a free kick. 3 minutes of added time. So a minimum of 3 minutes. Thompson goes to retrieve the football. And you wonder whether it's worth Mount Druitt maybe just trying to lob this one into the box and seeing what they can get from it. Olympic have 6 defenders back there. It's not a great ball in the end. It goes straight to Henderson. Wasn't really helped out by his teammates though on that passage of play. Henderson drives this one up the centre of the park looking for Kakaris, who for me, up there with Sanchez, who's scored a wonderful double for Olympic, has been one of Olympic's best, been tireless, as is Alameddine. Alameddine forward here to Roberts. John Roberts curls it back to the edge of the area now to Fernandez. Fabrico Fernandez still going. Might have been tripped up there. Referee said to play on. Fernandez now with the outside of the boot hits it forward here to Roberts. And Roberts is ruled to be offside, so that undoes that passage of attacking play by the visitors. Roughly 2 minutes of added on time remaining. Headed away. Sartilios almost getting in behind as it's cleared away by Mount Druitt. Clifford back across the centre of, or towards the centre of the goal. But Will Angel picks up the loose ball there. Mackenzie. Tempo needed by Sydney Olympic if they want to steal this. Kakaris through the midfield. Petty Kakaris still going. Stumbling, Petty Kakaris. Great save by Saliadare. Again, it was a weaving, amazing run by the left winger, but he just couldn't beat Saliadare. Something that Olympic have struggled to do despite scoring 2 goals today. And I think Mount Druitt away from home might be comfortable sealing a point against a higher placed outfit. Well, they're not going to die wondering. They're going to at least have one more opportunity to lump the ball into the box. And down that far side will be a throw in. Can't be much long left in this added on time portion. Going to try and launch this in the box of the Rangers. And there is going to be a substitution by Mount Druitt. Matt Clues is going to make his way onto the pitch. And no real urgency with the substitution here by the visitors. One of these ones just to try and secure the result perhaps, and just milk a bit more time off the clock. Clues comes on. And to replace Fabrico Fernandez, the Uruguayan, superb today. Goes to Roberts at the edge of the area. Swung in, that could be a corner. It will be. This could be the final play of the game. It's this or nothing for Mount Druitt. And it's all hands on deck defensively for Olympic, who have just the 2 players up front. And Sartilios and Madonis, I think it is. Alameddine curls in the corner. It's a decent delivery, but really well taken by Paul Henderson. And that'll be full time. It's a share of the spoils at Belmore Sports Ground in round 13 of the New South Wales NPL. Full time, Sydney Olympic 2, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 2. A valuable point away from home for the visitors. But for the home side, Sydney Olympic, this must have been an afternoon and evening of what ifs. Twice they got into the lead through Alejandro Sanchez's finishes, including a superb goal just a minute into the second half, where he danced around 3 defenders and curled it past Carlos Aliadare. But they weren't able to hold on. A lumping through ball saw John Roberts get on the end of it and knock it home on 76 minutes to restore parity for the visitors, and that's how it stayed. So full time, Sydney Olympic 2, courtesy of a double to Alejandro Sanchez on 21 minutes and 46 minutes. And then for the visitors, Mount Druitt, Alex Boyadian with one of the goals of the season. Make sure you check it out in the highlights. Or go back and watch this footage on half an hour. One of the great finishes you'll see from a striker. And then John Roberts bundling a through ball home with 14 minutes left on the clock. So a missed opportunity somewhat for Sydney Olympic. They go to their 4th draw of the season and move to 16 points. While for the visitors, Mount Druitt, their 5th draw of the season, but a valuable point away from home against a side 4 places above them. Hope you have enjoyed the coverage. This is Jack Clifton signing off as part of the NPL New South Wales live stream. Make sure you click and like and subscribe to everything that's happening on the YouTube and Facebook channels, as well as staying on Facebook for all the NPL New South Wales latest. It's been a pleasure to bring you the action of the last couple of hours. Full time at the Belmore Sports Ground around 13 of the NPL. Sydney Olympic 2, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 2.